Alright, today I'm going to be doing a rear brake replacement slash upgrade on a 2002 Honda Civic SI. These are the rotors I'm going with. These are drilled and slotted, I believe, from the company 88 Rotors on eBay. They seem to have pretty decent reviews, so I went with them. I've used these before as well on my 240SX on the front. And then I'm using just generic parts store pads, not the cheapest, but mid-grade. Okay, so the first thing that I did here was I jacked up the vehicle. Jack stands under it. Got two jacks supporting it as a backup as well, so I got one jack stand there, one on the other side, so we're good there. Right now, before I get started, I went ahead and sprayed everything down with some penetrating oil. Got the caliper bolts and the caliper bracket bolts as well. Something I did notice right away, previous owner stripped the screws that hold the brake rotor on, so unfortunately I'm going to have to go ahead and drill those out. It's not a good start already, so yeah. Alright, so the first bolt that I'm going to remove is the top caliper bolt here, 12mm. I'm going to remove the bottom one here, 12mm as well, just using a ratchet. And it's been on there a while. Alright, so there's those two. Now I'm going to pop off the caliper. There is the handbrake cable here kind of in the way, but you are able to just kind of pop it off. I've done these before. So it's kind of hanging up on it, but if you do enough finagling or wiggling, it'll pop right off. There we go. See? You can keep it all together there. If you want to, you can pop it off. You can see right there the cable. You can pop it off, but you don't have to. It's not a necessity. Alright, and then right here, taking a look at the pads, you can see why I need new brakes. That rear pad there is really unevenly worn and basically down to the metal on the bottom most part, so I'm thinking that the caliper has been sticking. I'm going to assume that these caliper sliders here aren't very well greased, where that one is. The bottom one is stuck, so that kind of explains why this one wasn't retracting here on the bottom, so I'm going to have to take care of that. I'm going to have to definitely grease this guy up. First things first though, I got to get the rotor off because the rotor is pretty trashed. You can see it right there, even on the outside of it. So yeah, I'm not looking forward to drilling those out, but yeah, we'll see how that goes. The next bolts that I've got left here are these 14mm caliper bolts on the back, and I'm going to go ahead and undo those now. Alright, so looking at the rotor, it looks like they started to drill it, or they just really badly stripped the screws out. Part of the reason why I don't really like those kind of screws on Hondas. A lot of times I don't even put them back in because crap like this ends up happening. I'm assuming that's why these rotors look in such bad shape. I'm assuming they went to do brakes and just pad slapped it and left these crappy rotors on before they sold it to me. I don't know. It's been making noise for a while, so figured I'd finally do something about it. So I'm going to go ahead now, grab my drill, just got the battery all charged up, I'm going to drill these out. Alright, so for this I'm just using a drill bit about the size of those here, and I'm going to go ahead and drill out. So here we go. It may take a little while, so bear with me. go, and here's the back of the rotor, obviously totally fucked, so, yep. Alright, so you can see here after drilling out those screws, I end up with little nubs here. There's really not any harm with leaving them there, but I take them off. I just grab them with some little vice grips and start turning. So yeah, not really much to that, but you know, quick little tip there for if you have to drill these out and if you want to replace them. Here's a real quick shot of the two. Obviously the same size and everything like that. I matched them up already. I painted the hats on the new rotors, just try to prevent rusting so it doesn't look like that here on the hat. Trying to prevent that. We'll see how well that actually works. But obviously they match up, important part, so now I'm going to go ahead with the reassembly. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead with the reassembly now. I'm going to get the rotor on. First thing I'm going to do, put a little bit of anti-seize, put it around the ring here and on the hub. And this is going to be to prevent it from seizing up to there. Didn't happen here, I didn't have to beat it off too hard, but just in case. So there's that. Got my freshly painted rotor here. I just painted the hat. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and put the caliper bracket back on. Alright, actually the next thing I'll be doing right now is I will be lubing the caliper sliders pins, which are these guys here. I already popped this one out. This one I actually had to hammer out. You can see it's pretty filthy and rusty. So what I'm going to do is get my wire brush here and just scrape it off here. Pop this guy off, scrape it down until it's bare metal. And I'm going to lube this up with some caliper grease, get it on there, get it in here, get it going in and out real nice like, and that should help that. So I'm going to do that first and then get this back together. Alright, and for this caliper here, we're going to go ahead and compress the caliper, but this isn't like your normal ones where you just can squeeze it with a C-clamp. You're going to need a little tool like this. They sell them pretty much on the auto parts store, about $5. You put it on the end of a ratchet with an extension, get it locked in there like that, and you start turning. You got to put a little pressure, so I'm going to have to put the camera down, see if I can film this, but you start turning it and it'll start going in. You basically go in as far in as it'll go. But for this you're going to want to either open up the bleeder screw or the master cylinder cap. I usually just do the master cylinder cap and that's all I need. Some people like to do the bleeder. I've never had issues one way or the other, but kind of to each his own on that one. Alright, doing the pads now. A little bit of caliper grease lubricant on the little hats here. Alright, so there we have it. We got this side finished up. The other side, no really need to film, same concept. There was a little bit of shenanigans getting this caliper back. I ended up knocking my camera over, and so you missed a little bit of that. But it's easier if you undo the caliper probably, or the bracket there. You can see there's a couple of 10 millimeters there, or you may not be able to see. There's a couple 10 mils or 12 mils there. I didn't do it, I just ended up kind of finagling, forcing it on there. You can do it either way you want. Make sure if you did the greasing and everything like that, you'll probably have gotten a little bit onto the rotor surface, and make sure you brake clean that before putting it back together, otherwise you might have some glazing of the pads. So yeah, not the greatest video, pretty bad lighting in here today and whatnot, so yeah, any questions, comments, concerns, just leave them down. Really simple vehicle to do, but if you have any questions, let me know.